What's up? It's Bridger Frederick here. If you're new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, then you'll know I failed once again to post a video every single day. I'm doing a 180-day challenge and keep messing up, but I'm coming back again and again because in the past, if I continually kept failing to do something, I would feel like a failure and just give up and quit. And I'm doing the exact opposite of that and just getting back on the horse over and over again. And I hope there's a lesson in it. Even if, my promise for a video per day falls flat, that's okay. I'm doing the absolute best I can. It's really hard to film a video every day. I'm not even really, piecing anything special together or editing, doing a lot of editing, and it's still difficult to find the time. I work full time selling insurance, and if you're a fellow paralyzed person out there or someone who cares for a paralyzed person or is friends with one, you would probably know just how much time it takes to be paralyzed, and especially because I like to keep up on my physical therapy, my standing, my biking, on my FES bike, and all of that. I did get to go surfing this weekend. That is one of my biggest goals right now, is to get a drone and someone maybe get a better lens for my DSLR camera and implore someone to take some footage of myself and the rest of Team Florida surfing, because that's something that I want to spread as much as possible. I love surfing more than anything in the world right now. Definitely. It's my number one sport that I enjoy, and it's just phenomenal. You go out, sunrise, it feels like you're on just satin gold as the sun's coming up over the ocean, and it's the absolute best. So I want to share that with as many people as possible, because I know for me, when I first got paralyzed, I was so wondering what the hell I was going to be able to do, and I still wonder what certain sports or things would look like and how hard they would be. And surfing was definitely one of those things, because you have the formidable obstacle of the beach, and it was a huge motivator for me when I saw some guy who made a YouTube video, and it was just him leaving his house, and he had like this thing that he set his surfboard on above him, this little rack that he had made for his surfboard, and he went down to the beach and scooted himself down the stairs and tossed his surfboard along and went surfing all by himself without any assistance whatsoever. And it was just really badass to see it. Apparently he does that nearly every single day. And even though that's, at first when I saw that, it was actually a little bit discouraging, because I was like, fuck, that looks hard. But then after being paralyzed for a while, I just realized, like, who cares? I mean, it's either don't do it or do it the hard way. And that's, kind of the choice you're given for a lot of activities as a paralyzed person, or do it in a compromised way where it's not as fun as it used to be or whatever. But eventually you just stop thinking about it that way. 99% of the time, not perfect. Definitely, bitch and moan and complain, especially inside my own head sometimes. But more and more as time goes on, everything just seems normal, and you just train yourself not to think about how hard it is, or just even relish the difficulty. So yep, that on a positive note. And then other than that, I have just been really, really working on, bringing myself out of lower frequency emotions. I cannot believe how much of my life I spend in shame, guilt, fear, anxiety, and anger. And what I really realized lately is that one of the reasons, because I've always had terrible temper and been prone to arguments and fighting, amongst people close to me, and have had road rage and regularly lost my temper on the road. And what I realized is, wow, I've been operating from such a low frequency for so long, that just generationally trained to be in shame and guilt. I was just, it's the more I think about it, the more I realize that every, thing was shrouded in that. And anger is much higher up on the frequency scale than shame or guilt is. So it actually feels good to be angry. It feels better to be sad, anxious, or angry than in shame and guilt. So, that's probably why so many people are prone to, anger and anxiety and all that stuff, because I think that a lot of us have lost the ability to be self-compassionate. I sure as hell know that I have. I am absolutely brutal on myself and am my own worst critic, a million times worse than I would criticize any other human being. I would criticize myself, which is just, before I thought it was a strength. I thought it was, admirable or tough or something. I thought that was a legitimate strategy to motivate yourself, is to, just berate yourself, and that would, push you on. But that's because I thought that, guilt was good fuel source for the human body, and it's just absolutely not. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst. And what happens is, it's so insidious. Your ego, that little voice inside your head, just constantly attempts to pull you back down into that frequency. Just, if you really start paying attention to it and listening to it, you'll see that it'll start telling you stories to induce whatever your pre-programmed state is. Maybe you had an amazing parents, an amazing upbringing, and just fantastic adults around you who set a perfect example, and great teachers and everything, and spiritual guidance, and your set point is bliss, and that's that's awesome. Then your self-talk and ego will constantly try to talk you up into bliss, without you consciously making an effort of it. But if that isn't you, and you had, the childhood that I think is, more the norm, that especially in the West, where you probably did get pre-programmed to a state of either shame, guilt, anger, sadness, anxiety, whatever it is. Predominantly, I think it is most likely for a lot of us to be kind of the whatever state our mother or primary caregiver was in for most of their caregiving time, during those like critical developmental, like attachment years, like 1 to 5. I think that's going to be kind of our frequency set point. That's my best guess. I'm no fucking anything. I'm no psychologist. I'm just an avid explorer of, my own mind, to try to elevate it to a place of happiness as often as possible. And that's what I've been up to for the last couple days, is just trying to, really be mindful and practice, regularly elevating my state all the way up through the emotional scale. And fuck, it is hard. The first thing that you have to do is just practice mindfulness enough to where you become aware of the narrator in your mind separately, and you don't have to shut it off completely. It's incredibly difficult to do, but just being aware of it, and that, it's kind of beyond your control, and therefore, because you can't control it, it is separate from you. It's a separate portion of you. And once you realize that, and that it's kind of a, for lack of my better understanding, some sort of homeostatic mechanism that your body has or your mind has to keep you at whatever frequency it's used to. And so you have to train that frequency up. And when those thoughts happen, you really do have to go from being your mind to focusing down into your body and, try to just squeeze from the bottom of your spine and kind of transmute those thoughts up through your spine. And I think that, being paralyzed has definitely increased, my dysfunction in, emotionally in some way as well, from a physical level, from that, that major nerve highway being cut off. I think it has a negative effect on, our ability to regulate and move emotions around. But I don't think it completely stunts it by any, stretch of the imagination. There's so many other innervations, obviously, and connections, besides the spinal cord and our perception. I think that, there's a lot still moving up and down, and that it's really important to put some focus on it. So anyways, that's what I've got going on. I'm basically at a make or break point financially. I got to grind this next 3-4 weeks, especially these next 2 weeks, just to keep my head above water, because I've taken a lot of time off. I've had a lot of people visiting, and then also have just been in incredible amounts of pain that have made it super difficult to work. I have no one that gives a shit anymore that I can possibly tell or complain to about it, and no one who can help me in any way, significant way, shape, or form. I just exhausted all my options other than just enduring the pain and getting through it for now and figuring out a better career going forward. But that, allows me to have the freedom, or incorporates movement and exercise and, everything that I need throughout the day into my job, which certainly is not the case now. I just go sit for 8+ hours a day, and it is absolutely excruciating. So if there is anyone out there that is paralyzed or in chronic pain and has to, muster up the willpower to go to work every day, just trust me, you're not alone. You could very well be in more pain than me, and I cannot imagine that. I honestly, whatever the powers that be are, whether it's God or the universe or whatever it is, source energy, whatever it is testing me to my physical max capacity, for sure. And I don't say that to complain or to garner sympathy. It just is what it is. I say it so that if you're out there, struggling like that as well, just know that, there is other people enduring an awful lot. There's a lot of people enduring more than you, certainly many enduring more than me, and my heart goes out to those people. It's so hard because I honestly can't imagine it. It literally feels like I am sitting, like even right now, at this very moment, it feels like I'm butt naked sitting on a hot stove. Like from about the back of my knees all the way to like the low center of the middle lower back is what I meant to say. It literally is just absolutely searing on fire, like it's burning in acid. So painful, nerve pain. And, that's concentrated on my ass and my dick and balls. And it's terrible. It's really, really brutal. And so if there's, if you know someone who's paralyzed or you take care of them, be, extra sympathetic. Whatever, nerve pain is no joke. And on top of that, I have actual back pain as well. But it's just being dwarfed by the nerve pain. from sitting for long periods of time. That nerve pain is not there if I'm able to, get in and out of my chair and stretch and stand, but it's absolutely not an option in the office or even with this job. You basically, it is just an eat what you kill kind of sales job, and you basically have to grind, 8-10 hours a day, and, you can make a good, decent, a decent living and have the flexibility to not show up to work some days if you need to, which is basically why I'm there. But it is, it's tough, and I just want to, put that out there. So if you're struggling, just know that you're absolutely not alone, and it's, hopefully it gets better. That's all you can. That's all you can strive for, and it just the idea of it getting better, and the pursuit of excellence is enough to keep me going, even though I do struggle. I don't want to give any impression that I am just in a great mood and, plowing forward every second of every day. I am plowing forward every second of every day, but I'm not doing it in a great mood. A lot of it is, every single day is the hardest day of my entire life for one portion of it. I cannot believe the, the difficulty level of dealing with a spinal cord injury. And, I'm a T10 paraplegic, and obviously the higher up the spinal cord you go, the higher the difficulty level goes. And, also the more responsibility that you have. I do have, I'm basically 100% independent. I have my girlfriend and roommates who, definitely pick up, a lion's share of, so I shouldn't even say a lion's share. They do, my girlfriend picks up a lion's share of the chores and stuff, but I, work my ass off every single day and night. So I think I know that person in front of me. But anyways, that's it for now. I'm gonna get home, and I took a melatonin right as I left work, so hopefully I can just take a quick shower and pass out nice and early so that I can wake up nice and early and get some physical therapy done in the morning, because I slept in this morning and didn't do any physical therapy really, besides, I stood for 30-45 minutes, but other than that, didn't do any stretching or anything, and I paid a steep price today at work. But anyways, lots of love. Hope that this video finds you well, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.